Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the last little section of this section. So the last mini section of the first section. So how do we know that a team is working well? How do we make sure that the team is moving in the right direction? Well, there's a couple of ways. First thing is we need to make sure that they are sticking to the mission. If the mission is to give quality work, then we need to make sure that everyone is speaking to that mission, that everything's about quality, that they're constantly checking each other, holding quality high, don't let anything slip out that is not of the quality that you expect. So the mission is the fundamental, it is the foundation of your business. And so if the mission is not being held to and not everyone knows the mission, then you guys have got to go back to the mission. Commitment. If some people are giving 12 hours a day and other people are giving 1 hour a day, well, then there's a problem in your team. So, what is the commitment level of all of your people? You need to make sure that they're giving the same commitment, that they're all committed to the mission, they're committed to doing what they have been told to do, that they're accountable, that they're responsible, and that they are working as hard as they possibly can. Then the norms and ground rules. We've got to make sure that everyone understands what the norms and the ground rules are. You need to be able to go up to anyone and say what to do in this situation. And everyone needs to give the same answer. If the rules are different for different people in different departments, well, then everyone's going to be pulling in a different way. We need to make sure that everyone has the same values, everyone has the same standards, everyone believes in the same rules. So if everyone's doing that, you're moving in the same direction. Then an effective process. So if the processes in your business are not effective, if they're not taking you to the output or the objective that you want, well, then you need to change the processes. Are there processes? So does one person do something in one way, another person does something a different way, they get to do different results? That's not good. So you have an effective process that everyone believes and everyone goes to, especially when there are things that are constant. Okay, so meeting at the same time of day. When the product is made, it goes through the same processes. When it goes through to the customer, the same processes are followed. So are there effective processes that everyone in the team believes in? And then there's interdependence. So are they working together? You know, if something comes in and is material and then it gets made into something, we need to make sure that everyone is talking together, they're communicating, they're working together. If there's a problem, they speak to each other. If there's conflict, they work together to make sure that conflict is not going to be a problem. They need to depend on each other. So, what are your strengths? What is your strengths? How can we make our strengths work together? If people are talking and collaborating and working together, then there's interdependence. Okay, I cannot work by myself without anyone else. I also cannot expect other people to deliver and I'm not delivering. So we need to work together. And when people are working together, you start to see a higher quality, you start to see better production, you start to see better workplace feelings, and people start to pull together. So if those 5 things are dealt with, then you know that your team is moving together. All right, then you are going to go to um, an action plan in order to improve team effectiveness. So you look at those 5 things. If they are not going well, then you're going to have to make some adjustments. You're going to have to make some changes. Okay, so the first thing is you need to have goal setting sessions where you sit together and you come up with some ideas. So let's go to our workbook and we're going to see what those things are. Okay, let's go to that section. Okay, so let's say page 40. No, okay. I apologize. Let's go a little bit further. Okay, I apologize, guys. We're going there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, there we go. So we spoke about mission, commitment, norms, ground rules, effective processes, and interdependence. Now, when we sit together, we're going to be making sure that all these things are working. We've got to do these things. Okay, develop an action plan. The first thing that we do is we sit together, we establish rapport, we have initial set of group goals, those who are affected by the goals, motivators, constraints, revise and collapse the listed goals, distinguish between the most important goals and the less important goals, collate a final statement of goals, and then seek consensus on the listed goals. Just read through that. It's going to give you an idea of that's how you start the discussion. Once you've started the discussion, you're going to put together an action plan. So what are the things that we need to do? We need to have a better mission. We need to have processes. We need to have ground rules. We need to make sure people are working together. How do we do that? Well, we're going to put together an action plan. So decide on a list of actions for each goal, list of tasks, then prepare a timeline. How long is it going to take us? You allocate resources. So remember, we do this all the time. Tasks, timeline, resources. What are the possible problems? If there are problems, what are we going to do about those problems? How will we monitor it? Will we have a weekly meeting? Will we give out emails? Will we give out reports? How are we going to be able to monitor it? And then I'm going to give specific tasks to specific people. We work out how much it's going to cost us, and then the last thing we do is we implement the plan. Okay, so those are the 8 steps in order to build an action plan. Then the last part of this mini section, or this section, is in groups, consider the characteristics of high performance teams. Remember, it was those 5 things: cohesiveness, ground rules, processes, vision, and the other one. You guys are going to read about it. You guys are going to know it. In groups, consider the characteristics of high performance teams. Discuss why you believe or do not believe that your team functions to the best of its abilities. What of those 5 things are your team not doing? And so tell me about which you are doing well and which ones are you not doing well. Okay, so if you want to know which ones they were, there you go. Mission, commitment, ground rules, effective processes, and interdependence. Are you good in all 5? Are you not good in all 5? What is it doing to your team? Okay, so you're going to write that in your formative section. Then in your summative section, you don't have one. You're going to go straight into a value test. Okay, so you're going to do your formative section, okay, and then you're going to go into your value test. I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes to work on your formative, another 15 minutes to work on your value test. So you're going to have 30 minutes to do that. When you're done with that, we are going to mark your value test. And then you come back to the next video and you're going to get your marks.